What is up, everybody? This is Donald Stewart from the Pinstripe Chronicles. I'm upset. I can't deal with this anymore. Aaron Boone is such a disgrace. He's such a disgrace to Yankee Nation. He is one of the worst managers in baseball. There's no question about that. And he's certainly one of the worst managers in Yankee history. I don't care what his winning record is. He's 14-17 in the postseason. That's more than enough for me because this is the Yankees. We care about October, okay? Other organizations maybe worry about regular season. The New York Yankees pride themselves on October. You win championships in October. We're not winning anything under Aaron Boone. It's as simple as that. Yo, Alex, how's it going, brother? So let's get through this. I've just come across an article. SNY is reporting that Aaron Boone is more than likely coming back along with Brian Cashman. And that's enough for me to come on and have a rant here because this cannot happen. This cannot stand. According to this article on SI.com, if Hal Steinbrenner may pay attention to the fans if they are upset enough and do something about it. So, hey, I'm doing my part. I've had enough. This is the New York Yankees. They've not been in the Yankees in a long, long time. Let's be honest. They really haven't. They haven't played like Yankees. They haven't carried themselves like Yankees. They've carried themselves like a political party, more worried about spin, more worried about optics, more about their egos than putting together the best possible team on the field. It starts with Brian Cashman. Well, in fact, it starts with Hal Steinbrenner because Hal Steinbrenner's asleep at the wheel. The truth is, I think he's the absentee owner. I think he's the quintessential absentee owner. I think that he cares a little bit, but he only really cares because his dad cared. He's using them as a cash cow. He's got the biggest brand in the world backing him up, and he doesn't want to invest in the areas that need to be invested. The truth is, he just wants to pass this off to Brian Cashman or whoever his baseball operations team is, and just let them deal with it. He doesn't have the proclivity to make the changes necessary. He doesn't have the stomach to make the changes necessary. He'll pride himself on being all calm, collected, and all that stuff. Forget that stuff. This is sports. This is a competitive market. This is a competitive sport. You need to have some accountability, and there's zero accountability in this organization. So it's up to the fans. It's up to content creators of the New York Yankees to come out and talk and remind the organization who it is that they're representing. They're representing the fan base. They're representing this right here, the badge, that badge right here. So let's start with Aaron Boone because I don't want to hear any more excuses. Oh, well, Aaron Boone doesn't hit. Aaron Boone had the worst postseason I have ever seen. And I've been watching the Yankees since about 1996 when we started our dynasty. This was the worst postseason I have ever seen, and that includes 2004, which Aaron Boone paraded around, which I will get to in a minute. That was by far the worst postseason I have ever seen from a manager. I've never seen anything quite like it. It was absolutely diabolical. Let's get to a couple of comments. MH, Yankees and Mets and gut check time, not interested in the Mets, but yep, agreed. Hal is sleeping on the yacht, not worrying. Sadly, these owners don't care. Well, I think Cohen really cares. Hal Steinbrenner, I've not seen any evidence that he does, apart from sending out the odd message just to puff up the Yankee fan base, going, "Oh, thanks so much for your support," blah, 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 blah. So let's get into this Aaron Boone stuff. It started with the DS roster. The DS roster was a complete farce. Left out Peraza. He had Marwin Gonzalez, who had no role. He had Tim LaCastro, who had no role. Aaron Hicks, who he didn't trust. And the reasoning that he gave for Peraza not making the roster, who is our best shortstop, my add, and our second best prospect in the entire system, his excuse for that was, he'd only be used as a second pinch runner. Are you out of your frickin' mind? Are you out of your ever-loving mind, Aaron? He's your best shortstop. So that's how it started. And then it just carried on with the musical chairs at shortstop. All throughout the series, it became a musical chairs. I'll be honest. I was locked in on game 1 of the DS. I was like, okay, we're here. I'm going to represent. I'm going to get behind this thing, whatever happens. And then IKF falls over and screws up in the first inning of game 1. And then I just went, oh, no, that's it. And I muted the game. I muted it because, to be honest, the writing was on the wall. Call me a bad fan. I don't care. The writing was on the wall because, once again, Aaron Boone had to bring his ego and Brian Cashman's ego into it. Oh, we can't admit that we were wrong with IKF, so we're just going to bring him out there and he's going to screw up a game, but it's okay because we're the Yankees and we're never wrong. And I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm sick of having to watch this because it's not right. So anyway, the series continued with a whole lot of bullshit from Aaron Boone. Crazy bullpen moves that I've never freaking seen before. You know, like Clark Schmidt coming in game 3. The game where he cost Severino, and he had Wandy pitch like 3 innings, but he would only use Holmes in an emergency. Well, what is it that you define as an emergency, Aaron? This is the playoffs. What are you talking about? And his own players were calling him out. Severino said, this, it reminds us what I just said. This is the playoffs. There should be no one unavailable. But Aaron Boone and the Yankees didn't get that memo. And then Clay Holmes flew in the face of that excuse that Aaron Boone said that he was hurt or whatever. Clay Holmes said, I was ready to go. I was ready to go. There's no problem. No question about it. I'm ready. So once again, these narratives are falling off at the first hurdle. The Aaron Boone excuse train falls off at the first hurdle. At the first stop, the Aaron Boone excuse train is absolutely screwed because his own players are starting to go, you know what? Is this our manager? Is this the guy that we have to, represent? Give me a freaking break. So, yeah, he screwed up that game. Cost us a game. IKF cost us a game. So we were backs to the wall. We were, at this point, we were now almost getting knocked out by the Guardians with a $60 million payroll who outmanaged us, out-hustled us, outplayed us for the vast majority. But Aaron Boone and IKF put our backs against the wall. So what did Garrett Cole do? He basically won us the series with a little bit of Bader's help, but basically Garrett Cole put the team on his back and he got us to the championship series, which the Yankees were very ill-equipped for. Let's be perfectly honest. They were very ill-equipped for this entire postseason because then Aaron Boone was like, because even though IKF, he then dumped for most of the series towards the end of the DS, he then says, IKF has a big role to play over the next few weeks. Weeks. What are you talking about? We could get eliminated. So this is like Aaron Boone was managing like he had infinite series ahead of him. I've never seen anything like it. What are you talking about? Weeks. You're lucky to get through the next couple of hours, you fool. So that's what I'm talking about. He wasn't managing with any urgency. So he had Clay Holmes only in an emergency. Well, I'm sorry, it's an emergency right now because you're about to get eliminated. You freaking idiot. So anyway, IKF, who apparently, according to Aaron Boone, is a Gold Glove shortstop. He should be nominated for a Gold Glove, he actually said the other day. He didn't actually play him in any of the elimination games. So, again, the Aaron Boone excuse train falls at the first fucking stop. So, it wasn't just that. It wasn't just his crazy bullpen management. It wasn't just IKF. It wasn't just his terrible DS roster. How about when he had Aaron Judge lead off and then A-Rod called him out because it was stupid and then it changes to 24 hours later? I don't think Aaron Boone actually backs up any of his decisions. I don't think Aaron Boone actually understands any of his decisions. I don't think he actually knows what the hell he's doing, quite honestly. So we somehow managed to get through the DS, no thanks to Aaron Boone and no thanks to IKF. But we get through to the CS, which, to be honest, we were ill-equipped for. We didn't have a closer. We didn't have a bullpen that Aaron Boone trusted. And we didn't have a shortstop that Aaron Boone trusted. Well, he could have just used Peraza, but that's too smart for the Yankees. We were really ill-equipped to take on the Astros, and the Astros handed us our ass. I thought that when they no-hit us at Yankee Stadium that was going to be how the season was going to turn out. And I was right. I really didn't think that this organization was ready to take on the Astros. And they're especially not ready to face up to their own mistakes. So the CS was a clusterfuck. Okay, let's go through it. How about when he blamed the wind? He blamed the fucking wind. That was a good one. The Aaron Boone excuse train. That's what should be what we should all just refer it to now. The Aaron Boone excuse train. Choo-choo. What's the next one? Oh, the wind. That's right. The fucking wind. Give me a break. The wind. The wind didn't do fuck all. He's giving us, he's blowing us wind is what he's doing. Then obviously the whole thing was such a farce. He didn't tell Bader he was leading off. How about that one? That was a good one. He blamed the player. Lauren Shahad of TBS knew more about Bader leading off than Bader. How does that make any fucking sense? You're the manager. The only thing he's hired for is for his communication skills. Well, what communication skills is that? What communication skills? He didn't tell anybody. If I'm the fucking manager and I need a spark from my player and I've made a big decision, the first thing I do is go to the player personally and go, Bader, we need you right now, man. I think you're having a great postseason. We really need you to be the spark at the top of the order. Are you up for it? That's how you fucking manage. You don't just write it on a bit of paper and then just post it left, right, and center in someone's locker and they just expect it just to be, oh, fine. And then blame the player? It's on you, man. The fact that a reporter knew more about Harrison Bader's status in the lineup than the fucking player is on you, Aaron, not Harrison Bader. You are a fucking joke of a manager. That was a joke right there. I was absolutely dumbstruck by that. But I'm also equally dumbstruck by the rotation of shortstops he had. He had 3 different shortstops. He had 3 different cleanup hitters. He had 3 different 5, 6, 7, and 8 hitters all through the first 3 games of the CS. How does that make any sense? How can you have a consistent lineup and every single day you make changes? It's like you're throwing shit at the wall, hoping something sticks. And even if something does work out, you're going to ignore it because you're going to make another change tomorrow just for the sake of it. How are you supposed to engender any confidence from the locker room in you if you don't have any faith in them? You're just telling them you don't have any faith in them because you're making changes on a daily basis. This guy's playing left tomorrow. This guy's not playing at all tomorrow. Peraza's not in the DS, but he's going to be your starting shortstop in the CS, but I'm going to ignore him after that. It was all over the place. I have never seen anything like it in my life. It was such a fucking mess. It really was. So you have musical chairs at shortstop. You have musical chairs in the bullpen. The ALCS, he didn't even turn to Holmes, who's our best pitcher in the bullpen. He didn't use him. Now, I have issues with Holmes. I think that Holmes is extremely inconsistent, but one thing he was pretty darn good whenever we used him in the postseason, but Aaron Boone didn't use him because he was only used in an emergency situation. Well, we're now out, so that was really good, Aaron. Like, for instance, Garrett Cole being taken out with the bases loaded after he balled out, after he carried you to a CS, then he gets you to the CS, and then he's doing fine. He got screwed over by Bader and Judge running into each other, but he was still doing pretty well. Got in a little bit of trouble, and then Aaron Boone runs out and brings in Trevino, their 4th reliever. And the excuse for that was lanes. Well, Trevino is in our lane. We're trying to get in our, lane right there. What are you fucking talking about, lane? Lane? It's the fucking, I can't even believe I'm saying this. It's the 4th game of the ALCS. You're about to get swept. But his lane, have to get my lane in there. Trevino is in my lane. Stop with your lane, because all that is just an excuse for what the front office nerds are telling you to do and telling you what to say. Aaron Boone doesn't really know what he's doing, and I don't even think that he backs up his convictions. That's quite obvious. In fact, I just ran across some evidence from John Boy Media that the Yankee decision-making and the Aaron Boone decision-making is done by vote. By fucking vote! Should I play IKF tomorrow? Ayes have it. The ayes have it. And then you wait and see, 5 say yes, 4 say no. Okay, IKF plays tomorrow. How is an organization running this badly? This is fucking spectacular. Things have to change. You can't have, this is the postseason. You can maybe get away with it over 162 games where you go, right, well, this guy's got a lane for this game because we've got a whole month ahead of us and we don't want anybody to get burned out. Fine. Okay, this is the postseason. It's all hands on deck. And Aaron Boone has completely missed the memo because he's managing like it's fucking April. IKF's got a big role to play in the future. Dude, you're about to get eliminated, right? What are you talking about? So what he did to Garrett Cole was actually disgraceful. It made no sense. And there's also a disrespect to your ace. You're telling your ace that you don't trust him to get out of a bases loaded situation. So you're gonna tell him that Trevino was the better option to get the outs than Garrett freaking Cole, who's cost you $300 million and who Brian Cashman said is their white horse and that's the only move that they need to make to win a championship. Complete lie, because his dumb fuck manager doesn't know what to do with him. So that was a disrespect to Garrett Cole, and I'm surprised Garrett Cole's even going to fucking speak to him again for that. I would be disrespected. Well, you don't trust me to get out of this situation. You're trusting a reliever you barely use to get out of this situation. Oh, come on. So he disrespects Cole. He screws over Bader because then he blames him for the fact he didn't even tell him what he was doing. He doesn't have any idea what to do at shortstop. He screwed over Peraza. When Peraza first got called up, I did a video because I was really upset because Aaron Boone was asked what he's going to do with Peraza, and he went, well, IKS still are starting shortstop. We'll just wait and see. So, in other words, we didn't have any plan for Peraza. That's your. I'm sorry. Look at the Astros. Who's their starting shortstop? Pray tell. A rookie. You can have a rookie play shortstop, especially a good one. We've got a pretty fucking good one, but we don't use one. So that's on Aaron Boone too. He had no idea what he's doing. He doesn't know what to do with his bullpen. He doesn't even communicate to his players. Players are calling him out. And this is all happening in the space of like a week and a half. So let's go back to in the DS, right? When he fucked over that game where Severino was taken out, and he had Wandy Peralta pitch like 3 innings. If Holmes was only used in an emergency, why did he only have Loizaga limited? If he knew that the bullpen was shorthanded in that game. That's why, once again, the Aaron Boone excuse train falls off at the first hurdle. If he knew that he had a compromised bullpen, why did he have such a short leash on Loizaga then? I mean, none of that makes sense. So the moves he's making doesn't even make sense. The excuses he makes doesn't make sense. The wind. Give me a fucking break with the wind. And the coup de grace, the icing on the cake, it really has to be getting his Yankees mental skills coach to come up with a collage video of the 2004 Red Sox against the Yankees. I mean, that is one of the most unbelievable things I've ever heard in my entire life. Let me just say that again. Aaron Boone's motivational technique was to find a video of the Yankees getting embarrassed with their worst, most embarrassing defeat in their history, which hurts many fucking ex-Yankees to this day, many of whom were actually part of a dynasty. And these Yankees, proud Yankees, have to take their embarrassment and watch Aaron Boone parade it around and championing it Like the Yankees should be motivated by that. The current Yankees should be motivated by watching a video of the 2004 Yankees meltdown. And then he had the gall to have a FaceTime conversation with David Ortiz, who led the Red Sox to that heartbreaking sweep, which still hurts Yankee fans and Yankee players to this day. And Aaron Boone, the tone-deaf idiot, thought that's how I'm going to motivate my team. That is one of the most disgraceful things I have ever heard in my entire life as a Yankee fan. That is embarrassing. Aaron Boone should be ashamed of himself. He really should be ashamed of himself. Imagine, this is a 27-time World Series champion ball club. You don't have videos of when Joe Torre told George Steinbrenner that we're going to win 4 straight and beat the Atlanta Braves in the 96 World Series? You have video of that? The series that we were not fancied to win and we did it anyway? That's a video of the Yankees triumphing. But no, Aaron Boone doesn't do that because he's 14-17 as a postseason manager. He's a fucking loser. So what does he do? Oh, I'm going to continue this loser narrative and I'm going to inspire my team by watching us lose to the Red Sox, which we've done a very good job of doing since Aaron Boone came in charge, might I add, especially in the postseason. So that was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen. And Michael Kay was furious. He looked really upset, actually, to be honest, watching that video, watching his podcast, where he said that he spoke to 3 players from that team, and they're all outraged. So 3 players from that 2004 team are outraged. I wonder who those 3 players are. I bet Jay Jeter's one of them. I'll tell you that. He's not going to fucking take kindly to that. He's not going to take kindly to this little weasel taking a team that had a hell of a lot more heart than this fucking team and parading it around their defeat. What are you doing? What are you trying to inspire? That is one of the most... I can't even believe that's a strategy that they thought was going to work. Here, guys, this is the most embarrassing defeat in Yankees history. Now you guys can watch it and do one for yourselves. Because now this is pretty fucking embarrassing, getting swept off the Houston Astros. Swept! So, Aaron Boone is at the heart of all that. So I don't want to hear excuses that the roster wasn't up to shape. Exactly. It wasn't. That's on Brian Cashman. But you still have to have a manager that has some strength in his convictions, that leads his franchise. The worst possible thing that could happen to the New York Yankees was Rob Thompson, who they actually interviewed prior to hiring this fuckfest manager. Rob Thompson comes in mid-season for the Philadelphia Phillies and has led them to a World Series because he's cut out the shit. He's getting these guys motivated. And his strategy, as he's already said, his strategy in the postseason is basically all hands on deck. Tomorrow isn't promised. So if we've got an opportunity to win, we will go out and win. What was Aaron Boone's strategy? Game 1 of the ALCS. He took out Taillon and basically punted the game in a tie game. We're not interested in this game. We're more interested in tomorrow, basically, is what he said, because he then started to use Montas and Schmidt and all these dudes, Trevino, and he had no idea what to do with them. They just let them blow the ball game for no fucking reason. And that's your ALCS. That was game 1 of the championship series, and the Yankees are already punting it for lanes and matchups. So let's compare what Rob Thompson did, where he's like, we can have a chance to win this game. Let's go all for it. And they're in the World Series. And Aaron Boone going, well, we've got lanes. We've got guys that we maybe need to give a breather here and there for. We can only use this guy in an emergency. Where are the Yankees right now? Oh, they're at home. So you've got a manager in Philadelphia, and you've got this fucking dumb idiot in charge of the Yankees, looking at the next excuse that he can come up with. So far, we'd had the wind. What else is he going to use as an excuse? God knows. But I'm looking forward to that press conference. So enough with the narratives. enough with the excuses. Excuses are a loser's lament. It really is. I don't care about excuses anymore. I don't want to hear about the fact that the Astros have a much better roster than we do. They do, but it's not unheard of to go and actually play well, play hard, and look like a professional baseball team on the base paths and on defense, and offensively hit more than 162. I mean, it doesn't take a genius manager just to put good guys in the position to succeed. If the Yankees had a better manager, we may have had a chance in this series. But the truth is, we have an absolute joker, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and the Yankees played like it. And the players played like they have a manager who doesn't know what he's doing. Let's be perfectly honest, because if they were all in on him, they wouldn't be calling him out from behind the scenes. They wouldn't. Garrett Cole wouldn't look like he wanted to fucking body slam him. Severino looks like he wants to body slam him every time Aaron Boone takes him out of a ball game. Probably because they're thinking deep down, this guy is a complete idiot. And he's just a puppet to this joke organization run by Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman's power grab after the 2017 CS was more of, this is my opportunity now to put my puppet manager in place and have a faceless front office that are unaccountable to anyone. And that's what Brian Cashman has brought in after our success in 2017. He had to have things his way, which was a power grab and a removal of all accountability. And what has happened since then? This Yankee team can't win in October. They embarrass themselves in October, and none more so than this particular October. And they were pretty damn embarrassing last October and the year before that. And Aaron Boone's first year as manager, where he oversaw the Red Sox beating the Yankees 16-1, I do believe, because he made a ton of all the wrong moves. This manager is not improving. And there's even an article in the New York Post now. Thank God there's some people in the beat media that are calling facts. Ian O'Connor just had an article where he says that Aaron Boone isn't learning from his mistakes. And he mentions how badly he mismanaged that 2018 series against the Red Sox. And he's continuing to make all new ones this postseason. So enough with the excuses. Excuses are a loser's lament. Aaron Boone, you're not good enough. Your Yankees are not good enough. Brian Cashman, you're not good enough. Things have to change. So it's up to us as fans to hold the Yankees to account, because they won't hold themselves to account. So it's only up to us to do so. Michael Kay is certainly off to a very good start, because he's the only one that's at least saying the fact. That's a really good start. Now it's up to the fans to pressure the Yankees. If that is at all true, what that article says on SI.com, that if the Yankee fans put enough pressure on Hal Steinbrenner, he may listen and may rethink his plan to bring Aaron Boone back, then let's do it. Let's all get on. Let's freaking make a statement that this is not acceptable. The 2004 Yankees are currently furious at this joker of a manager who embarrassed them. Aaron Boone has embarrassed a bunch of current Yankees. And he's embarrassed the franchise. How the hell can Hal Steinbrenner, as an owner, accept that? I would never accept that. If the person I'm hiring to do a job is embarrassing the franchise, then something has to change. You can't allow that. Because it then just blows back to me. If I'm the owner of a business and then my manager uses excuses for non-performance and completely shits all over himself in the big moments and costs my business money, costs my business performance, then he has to go. I don't care if he's a nice guy. I really don't. Aaron Boone apparently is a nice guy. But then I listened to Aaron Boone on the Michael Kay show, and Michael Kay asked him a very simple question about Matt Carpenter. Is Matt Carpenter ready? And Aaron Boone's reply was, You're unbelievable. That was the most obnoxious reply I've ever heard. It really was obnoxious. I've never heard that before. So it's just this unaccountable organization. You're never allowed to ask a question. Never allowed to ask a question to the Yankees because they're all knowing. And there's this unaccountability that has to change. Alex, my problem with Kay, he's been loud but indirect. He says changes need to happen, but was perplexed when a fan called in and said Cashman Boone should be gone. He don't want to lose his job, I guess. Well, whatever his motivations are, you still have to give him credit for the fact that he's calling a spade because not enough people are doing it. Remember, the Yankees have a very tight leash on everyone in the media. Everyone. What was it? Buster Olney just said that, the problem with the Yankees wasn't an Aaron Boone problem. He just said that. So at least Michael Kay has strengthened his convictions in the yes postgame to eviscerate him. And then using his platform to eviscerate him for the 2004 joke that he compiled, joke video. So at least he's doing something. So I'm not going to blame Kay on this one. Good. You know what? I mean, he's never been a guy that calls for people's job. That's one of the things that he always says on his show, like it or not, he always does. He's also got a personal friendship with Aaron Boone. But Aaron Boone shadowed over that personal friendship where he called Michael Kay unbelievable. So I don't think Kay is now so much a pro-Boone guy now anymore. I think after Aaron Boone embarrassed him on his show, I think Michael Kay's given some much-needed payback. I have to be honest, though, and I can't blame him, because I listened to that interview and I thought he was obnoxious. I thought that was an answer of an organization which is completely unaccountable. There was nothing wrong with that question. And from what I understand, Matt Carpenter really wasn't ready, but the faceless front office executives / nerds thought that his swing velo was where it was prior to his injury, thus he's healthy and ready to go. This is what I'm talking about. Everything's done on a laptop. Games are managed before the actual game itself, and you cannot win that way. You can't win postseasons that way. You can't win championships that way. It might get you through a regular season. And this isn't going to be a rant about analytics, because analytics is important. It's basically just interpreting data, right? That's all you're really doing. But if you've got this hubris about you where you're unaccountable, that's going to affect the way you interpret the data. And that's what we've come across with this Yankee front office. It's not the data that they're getting. It's how they're interpreting it. And they're so stuck in their ways and they're so wrapped up in their own egos that they can't allow anyone else to tell them that that this isn't working. I mean, we've already seen Brian Cashman, his plug and pray option of IKF was a complete joke. I'm sure I'll do a separate video on Brian Cashman, but this is going to be focused on Aaron Boone. But what I'm talking about is that the Yankees are wrapped up in their own hubris that they can't allow anyone to ask them any questions. You look at their post games, no one asks Aaron Boone any questions at all, other than just layups. And that's what I'm talking about. So when Michael Kay finally asked him a question that had a little bit of substance, Aaron Boone basically gave him the answer, which tells you everything about where the Yankees are right now. They're unaccountable, they don't want to answer questions, and they're never wrong. Well, I can tell you quite honestly that they are wrong. And they're wrong more times than they're right. They completely got this IKF thing completely wrong. I can't even begin to describe how much they screwed that up. And as I just went through this entire video of all the things that he's done, Aaron Boone was wrong far more than he was right in this postseason. I actually can't think of anything he got right in this postseason. And that is terrifying as the manager of the New York Yankees. So what I want to do is to impress that as fans, as content creators, it's so important that we hold the Yankees to account. If they don't hold themselves to account, if the owner doesn't hold anyone to account, if Cashman doesn't hold anyone to account just to protect his own job, and Aaron Boone is this buffoon, which he is, nice guy, but total buffoon. If no one is going to be hold themselves to account, then it's up to the fans to do it. So let's do it. Let's rally around this thing. We really need to start being more vocal about this. This cannot be accepted. We haven't won a championship since 2009, but we're winning annually in excuses. We are multiple championship team in excuses, and I'm sick of it because losing franchises make excuses. Losing people, losers like Aaron Boone make excuses. The Yankees never made excuses under George Steinbrenner, under Joe Torre, under Joe Girardi even. They never made excuses. But now Brian Cashman basically had to have that power grab where he had to become the all-seeing king of the Yankees. And now it's just this mess. It really is, and nothing's going to change unless changes happen. So if there's any chance that the fans can be vocal enough to force the Yankees to consider this, because they do watch us, they watch the things that happen in the media, well, let's be fucking loud about it, because this is a joke. This is unacceptable. And for me, the last straw was this 2004. That was one of the most unbelievable things I ever came across. I thought it was a joke. I can't believe that our current Yankees, are using a past Yankee meltdown as inspiration. And they're talking to the people that beat us. And that's supposed to motivate them? If I was Aaron Judge, I'd be like, dude, I am not coming back if Aaron Boone's the manager after that fuckfest that he just had me sit through. That is a complete joke. It really is. Unacceptable. And I'm offended as a fan because I had to sit through that 2004. I had to deal with it, as all fans did. And Aaron Boone, that tone-deaf fool, was dancing around, parading it around. Something to be proud of. Oh, let's talk to David Ortiz, who beat us in 2004. Are you out of your ever-loving mind? I'm out.